Okay. That's right. But they weren't.
Yeah, we got them all.
Yeah. She got them.
Brittany, are you hearing us now?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay.
Did anybody see anything odd or weird or?
Well, Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the claim ordinance A 01-0722 and the August 22 Airport Advisory Board minutes.
I'll second it. Mr. Renard makes a motion to approve the claim ordinance A01, well, the whole consent agenda, I'm sorry. Mr. Scritchfield seconds that motion. Any discussion? May have some discussion here, just for a minute. Any discussion over those items? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Consent agenda, including claim ordinance A01-0722, the August 2022 Airport Advisory Board minutes are approved. Next section of our meeting, petitions and delegations. Members of the public are welcome to use this time to comment about any matter related to city business not listed on this agenda. Comments that are discussed in our petitions and delegations may or may not be acted upon the council during the meeting. There's a 5-minute time limit. Please stand and wait to be recognized by the mayor. You must state your name and whether you reside in Ellsworth city limits. Anybody like to make some public comments? Yeah. Go ahead, John. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Since I saw two scouts walk in, I'm not going to ask them to say anything, but just to let you know, I'm the Boy Scout troop leader here in Ellsworth. One of the requirements for the citizenship of the community merit badge is to attend a public meeting such as city council. That's why they're here this evening to fulfill a merit badge. So good job.
That's last year. Come anytime. If you have any questions, if you don't be afraid to ask, especially when the meeting's over. We'll answer any questions for you. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we've got the Kiwanis proclamation. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then I think we're going to probably sign it and maybe take some pictures. How we want to do it.
That's fine. Alan Byerly is the president, and he was going to be here this evening, but he's under quarantine right now.
Okay.
And so, Greg is
None of laughing matter, but it's just you hear this.
Greg is president-elect, so he can take a picture with you. And one of the things I was gonna ask, Thursday morning on the 18th at 7 o'clock, if you could present the proclamation at our regular meeting to Ron Swati, our charter member.
I will not be able to.
Would the interim city administrator be able to?
John, will you be available?
I would love to be there at the Kiwanis Club on Thursday morning. Yes,
On the 18th,
Stay Thursday.
at the steakhouse.
7 a.m.
Yes. And I'll email Brittany the details.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Thank you.
Great. All right, so with that said, I'll go ahead and read this and then I'll go and sign it and then we'll take some pictures. How's that? All right, so we have the City of Ellsworth, Kansas proclamation, whereas the Kiwanis International is one of the largest service organizations in the world, with more than 551,000 members of all ages and abilities in more than 80 nations. And whereas the members of the Kiwanis Club of Ellsworth, Kansas are devoted to improving the world one child, one community at a time by seeking primacy to the human, spiritual rather than material values of life. And whereas in addition to improving the lives of children in Ellsworth, Kansas and communities around the world, Kiwanis Club members promote the development of community leaders, positive role models, intercultural understanding, cooperation, and opportunities for fellowship, personal growth, professional development, community service. And whereas the first Ellsworth Club started its service in Detroit, Michigan, USA in 1915, and the Kiwanis Club of Ellsworth, Kansas was formed on August 17, 1972. So if you do the math, this is your 50th anniversary. It's very important. The service provided by the Kiwanis Club of Ellsworth, Kansas will continue to have a positive impact on our community and citizens And therefore, I, Daniel Finnegan, Mayor of the City of Ellsworth, Kansas, do hereby proclaim August 17, 2022, the Kiwanis Club of Ellsworth, Kansas Day, and hereby call upon all citizens and officials of Ellsworth, Kansas to render support for the members of this organization and to make themselves aware of Kiwanis International and Kiwanis Club of Ellsworth, Kansas, whose members this day are providing meaningful service to children in our community. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused a seal of the City of Ellsworth, Kansas to be affixed on this, the 17th day of August, 2022. I'll go ahead and sign this. Take some pictures real quick.
Right, Gregory, you want to stand up there, please?
Want to stand around in front? All right.
You're bailing back there?
Good job. What's one more? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
There.
All right, congratulations. All right. All right, any other petitions of delegations, public comment? Karen?
Doesn't do any good, so.
Okay. All right, any unfinished business, that category? There's no unfinished business.
John, did you have something? Maybe just came in late.
Yeah, I could provide a quick update on some things. Be great. John Hobby Walker, for Mobile. I didn't introduce myself for the scouting deal. Just give a quick update on a few of the Kirkland Michael projects here in Ellsworth. On the South Detention Basin, as I described before, the consultant that we engaged to assist us with the drainage system recommended that we upsize the underground pipe to 6-inch diameter. That's not as readily available as the 4-inch, so we had to order that pipe. So it's on order. It should come in within the next week. Met with Joe Travis this afternoon at the site, talk about installation of the pipe when it gets in. Pending pipe deliveries, we're planning on the week after next, would be the 15th to install the pipe. Neighborhood multi-use pass, so we're just about to turn in the final plans on that project, and I got a memo from KDOT, it was Thursday or Friday last week, that they are pushing the letting date to April 2023. It was an October letting. From a construction standpoint, I don't know if that one makes a huge difference, because I wouldn't anticipate construction would happen until 2023, regardless. We have been in touch with all the utility companies now, and I think they're all, at least they've all told us that they are intending to move those by Kansas Gas Service and AT&T. The Vive, which is the one that we had was difficulty getting a hold of. Simply their contractor met with Josh out there on the project last week, and putting together plans on moving their utility boxes that are in the way. I think they'll have some internal discussion about just moving the boxes, or they have a line that runs the whole length of that corridor, basically south of the bridge. They would move the entire line. I think the line would be right under the path. Once constructed, which is no big deal with the path, but if they had to work on the line, they would probably have to move it at some point or another. Spring cost share project on the multiple sidewalks, as we discussed the last meeting, we're planning to start advertising that project in September, and we'll open bids again October 10th. The sanitary sewer study for Rolling Hills Electric, as well as 3 residences here in Ellsworth. Also discussed that item with Joe this afternoon, where we proposed the city sewer main going west to the Rolling Hills property. There currently is no right of way or easement there. There was a right of way at one time, and it was abandoned years ago by the city. So the city would need to pursue a utility easement or the right of way for that alignment. Joe indicated the desire as well for the city to put their water main in the same corridor. So I did mention with the city attorney about, presumably she would be in charge of requiring a utility easement before that line can be installed. On the runway, airport runway and taxiway reconstruction, I did confirm with our inspector that's been out there that all the concrete pavement work has been completed on that project. We were helping another consultant finish with the inspection up there, with the majority, or with the pavement being done. There's not very much demand for additional inspections, so it looks like our effort on that project going forward will be part-time, very part-time, so I don't know that I will have any other updates necessarily. Asked that the city can coordinate with finish for future updates. Then the last thing I wanted to bring up, and there's a little bit of discussion about it, I believe, at the last meeting. So today, KDOT opened their cost share call for projects for the fall. The last at least two cycles, we applied for that O'Donnell Street extension. Obviously, since the application has already been done, it's a fairly minimal effort to update the costs and submit that again. But there was discussion about potentially other directions at the last meeting. So just wanted to bring that up. I think that it's either due is September 15th was applications, so we don't have a lot of time. A couple meetings, actually just one meeting between now and then, city council meeting. So at least want to bring it up for food for thought, and if we need to hash that out at the next meeting, we can certainly do that. But I would ask if the council has any thoughts or comments on that idea.
I know we have developers that would like to get O'Donnell done. My only concern about that is if we don't do the sewer now, then no development's gonna happen until we get sewer done. And the sewer is gonna be difficult because it's going downhill, we're gonna end up pumping it uphill. Get it out of there. Would be my assumption. So I think that's gonna be quite a project before it's all done, because we're making development. So I think that the box on Third Street going into the park is much more urgently needed improvement. It's, gonna be several. I mean, it's gonna be, I don't know what your estimate, I don't remember what the estimate was, but it was
About 300,000.
I thought it was doing 300,000.
Part of what makes it expensive is there's inlets on top of the box, there's driveway that's partially on top of the box, which is gonna get torn out. And then some approach pavements to make it all right, nice, it just adds up.
Maybe. Perfect thing was to make sure that when we do finally do Third Street, we can tie in, there's some tie in there, so normal section. I would be more inclined for us to do that instead, if we think that it's a worthy project for the application.
They have more money available, I didn't know that, than they have the past couple rounds. The state is using some of the BIL federal aid to boost up funding. Not near as much as what they'll get applications for, so it's more of these.
Sure. That would be awesome. There's no other funding source out there really to do that box.
No, not really that type of project, it's not a bridge size structure.
My suggestion.
John, before you leave, going back to the park, so we're doing the fire project next week after, and then the water study. When's that scheduled to be? What do you think that'll be done? When do you think you'll have the data?
So I actually got a draft. I got a draft report from them from that today, right? Haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I'll get on this afternoon. Yeah, I should have that for the next meeting.
So we're looking at by the end of August, or certainly by the end of September, we're gonna know a lot. And at that point, do you do another design or you stop and discuss?
Well, actually, what we're doing with the pipe installation is the first step in this stepping recommendation, right? Is to install a straight pipe, right? And where we're gonna put it is gonna be very close to the top of the rock ledge, is right over. When the geotechnical work was done, so the water was falling on top of that rock.
Gotcha.
So by putting that drain pipe perpendicular across the rock, it'll catch We have not all the water coming across there, but at least a good portion of it to drain it north and south instead of allowing it to come east through the detention basin.
So if that's successful, know a lot more and we'll also know where the water's coming from, where it's going to, and then you call subcontractors, say to finish it.
Right, so yeah, if it catches the water, so where the basin dries out, contractor come in and finish it. If it doesn't catch the water, then he's got subsequent steps after that to get you treatment.
Okay,
I guess in his mind is this is what's spending,
right.
it's more amounts of money and doing 3 steps. The
Right.
first step can solve the issue.
So we're looking at this fall, we're gonna maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's dried out quite a bit. There's a couple of spots out there that are still holding water in the south basin, and that's really the only place we're talking about. Installing the pipe, talk with KDOT in their mind that this north basin has been accepted, so there's nothing else for the project that's gonna happen in the north basin.
Right,
So all we're talking about is the south basin.
right. And the riprap that's in the north basin, was that our street department that just helped out and threw it under that?
That is my understanding, is there was some water coming in from outside of the project area and going down the slopes. Probably some erosion, they brought in the rock and put in place out there to shore up the slopes.
Pretty smart, okay.
And then the one on along K 14, I think KDOT assisted in some manner, but I couldn't say exactly how.
All right.
Clean.
Yeah, the city guys did the North Basin and then, yeah, on the KDOT did the West project, so.
It's good. We got to solve the problem for the most part.
It'll solve the issue of the erosion from the runoff.
Right there, right. Good deal. Any other questions for John? All right, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're on to new business and we've got a setback ordinance number 3125. Agenda item report 22-095, probably wants a little explanation. John, do you want to explain? Maybe Melissa, do you? A little bit of background.
Sure, whoever.
John, do you want to go or?
Yeah, well, I kind of wanted to start by just saying, I really feel bad. I don't think we got enough information in the packet for you. And we had a planning commission meeting to talk about this. They made a recommendation. We haven't got the minutes put together yet. And I, would have liked to have a diagram for you. And I don't believe Delvin is here. I don't think he's there, is he, tonight? But if Melissa wants to explain the change and can do that to the council satisfaction, otherwise, we might need to look at bringing this back for another look. But Melissa, you want to take a shot?
Sure. Okay, so I think what one thing that would help is for you to understand that the only language that I changed in there is in paragraph 3. And it says any closer to the rear side lot line of the property than 8 feet. That previously was 3. So the planning commission had a meeting and they are making this recommendation for a couple reasons. The main one being continuity, so it's 8 feet underside yard. So they, 8 feet in the back, 8 feet all around. The second reason is that they felt it was good for safety reasons as well, to keep a certain amount of space in between buildings. If you have 2 people with back-to-back backyards, they could conceivably get 2 buildings within 6 feet of each other. So if you wanted to get emergency vehicles or fire or whatever through there, that would be a little bit closer. The third reason, and the reason why this sort of came up, and this is gonna be the hard one to explain to you without a diagram, but if you have a property that's on the corner, okay, so here's the corner, you have one house that faces this way and one house that faces this way. They have a shared property line that is the rear yard of one house and the side yard of the other. So the way it was previously, the person whose rear yard that was could go up to 3 feet within this property line. The person whose side yard could go up to 8. Same property line, different setbacks because of the way their house is facing, the way that their yards are. That's kind of where it came from. So it was multiple factors that were discussed, but that's their reasoning for making the recommendation. It actually, I think, we thought it was 8 feet for a while anyways. And then there was an instance that came up that somebody that wanted to build and Dublin said, you're gonna need a variance, and they said, oh, no, you don't, and they're right, so, it's kind of just. That's, yes, their reasoning, if you have questions, let me know, but that wasn't the best explanation, but. Multiple factors for their recommendation.
So it's the planning commission's recommendations.
Yes, the planning commission did have a meeting to discuss. And John and I went to that meeting and tried to listen and follow along and take notes.
So I had a couple
Hmm.
questions, and if we're gonna update this, me when I had a couple of things.
Okay,
Um. One, so this establishes setbacks on every lot in Ellsworth.
for, and yeah, for number 3, specifically for accessory building.
And other improvements and where to park RVs and
Yeah. Mhm.
all those sorts of things. Okay. So. We haven't been following this
Okay,
as a commission, as a building commission or planning commission. As building inspector, we haven't followed this at all.
So the whole city's got appliance issues.
Yes, all over the place. One of the things that I would like to add is in paragraph 16. I would like to get rid of their major recreational and just make it equipment such as. And I'd like to add utility trailers and enclosed trailers to that list, because I don't know why. We want somebody parking a utility trailer in the front yard if they can't park an RV in their front yard or a big.
what did you say, utility trailers?
Any closed trailers. I'd like to just say trailers, period, and get rid of all the different ones, but. I think there may be enough difference in the language that,
Yeah, okay,
the other thing that I would like to add a whole section. On parking motor vehicles. In the front yards except on paved. With either concrete or asphalt paved parking areas. I don't know, I want a car park in the front yard if we don't want a trailer park. Or
How many are out there like that?
not very many.
So you're saying a guy that has 4 cars, room for 2 in his driveway, but 2 in his yard, and they gotta go.
Then go on the street. I just don't want to hop on the curb, that's my only thing. I don't want to hop on the curb, it's hard on our curb, destroys the grass in our frontage. And it makes maintenance a problem.
Okay,
Well,
Wayne, I have a question.
You're,
So like in our yard, we park in the yard, but we don't have a curb. There's like it wasn't, I don't know that it's a driveway, but it's not a curb. So are you saying that I can't park in my yard because it's not a curb there?
are you parking on the grass?
Yeah, but it's my grass.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say that would not be listened. You know, this just plays into, I had somebody approach me this weekend. About how they've been over to Canopolis and then came over to Ellsworth and commented about how nicely Canopolis is maintained and bushes aren't overgrown into the sidewalks and obstructing the views at intersections and. People don't have dead trees and broken trees standing over there. They do a good job of taking that stuff down. When they drove through Ellsworth, we've got half dead trees all over town. We've got bushes grown out over the sidewalks, plantings obstructing intersections, so. You know, there's all that stuff in here that we don't allow that and the things that we're not following this document, so. But that was my question about whether this did establish those setbacks all over town, because the building commission has granted fences out in our right of way, we've granted fences out in our right of way. Obstructed intersections, all that stuff by our own action, so I just want to make sure that if we're gonna. go through updating this, so that we all agree that we're gonna follow it. If not, then we need to change the things in here that we don't agree with.
So what you're saying is if we update this, you want to update more.
Not necessarily, I just didn't follow it.
Okay.
We're gonna update it, I won't follow the document.
Yeah, and it's not the only ordinance that will govern setbacks, et cetera, but it's the main one for districts.
We can kick this to the next meeting too.
And,
A little bit of time to.
yeah, Darcy, Darcy should comment if she doesn't agree with that.
I don't because it's my yard. I'm not driving over the curb. It's my grass. I just do it because people drive like idiots up and down our street. So my choice is leave a car on the curb and somebody hits it, or I put it in my yard where it's not gonna get hit. So it's not like it's parked there and we never move it. So I don't understand why if it's my yard and I want to pull it there just for safekeeping, why I can see if I just park it and don't move it for months upon end.
Like even your backyard, you can't park a car?
No, you can't park in front of the setback, which means.
From your setbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just comment, Wayne, there are several cities that have went through this whole conversation about front yard parking, and it's a big conversation in terms of, how you define a front yard, and then also define what is pavement. You get into, is it asphalt millings, is it concrete, is it, but there are examples out there that, we could look at if that's what you would want to do. That would be a bigger conversation down the road. The other thing about a lot of the other codes that maybe aren't being enforced, I would agree, just, my limited time there, you can just see a lot of things that, well, this garage is in the setback, and Delvin even admits that, some of that's happened over the years, and, once it's happened, it's hard to undo. And so, I think part of that conversation going forward might be how we, as a city, or you as a city, are, more organized and more aggressive in, code enforcement issues, because that is a big deal, and that's how you clean up communities. Unfortunately, some people don't like it.
And we're not parking in our front yard. Ours is on the north side of our house. It's like what I consider our backyard.
So it'll be behind the setback, more like. So then you wouldn't be in violation of that. Then.
Right, yeah. But, those are a couple of things. I think you've mentioned some amendments, and certainly, we can take those back to the planning commission. And also, if you want them to, study that front yard parking issue, we certainly could do that as well.
I think that'd be great.
Mr. Mayor, do you want to table this specific item that's on the
Yeah,
agenda?
Let's table. I think this is, it's a good issue, but it's complicated. There are a lot of tentacles to it. So yeah, let's table this one. I hear Darcy and Wayne, and the real issue is things haven't been enforced. And so it is tough. We've seen in so many instances where try to move forward and to enforce things, it makes it hard, and you got to see it through. So I think we're going to be in another situation like that. So maybe good just to take a step back on this one. Sound good, everybody? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next item in the new business is baseball and softball infield renovation. Ronnie, would you like to come speak to us about that?
Absolutely. We talked about this a few meetings ago about this project I've been working on as far as some fundraising. I had some individuals approach me about, changing our infield dirt to the red shell. You should have in your packet, everything that, what the cost is gonna be as far as that goes, and putting in a new water line down to the concession stand, and to be able to water the infields as well. We have quite a few donors out there. Still a little short of the target price, but I've just visited with John, and hopefully, the city can contribute you know, kind of what our recommendation is. That'll still leave us about, $4,200 short, but, I mean, I still got a couple of, people have donors, possible donors, I'm waiting to hear back, so.
But could I ask you, if we contributed, would it help those donors? Would they feel more confident or would it have no impact at all?
Well, I mean, I would like, I mean, you see the list, I mean,
Right.
I think they'd like to
Yeah,
see the project happen, for
right.
sure, so. Yeah,
Great job.
yeah, this is something we want to do this fall and get it done before winter hits. Be ready for next spring and summer. And our goal is to, you know, if we raise that money, apply to the Smoky Hill, which we refer it to the Hanson for a matching grant to possibly irrigate our outfields.
That'd be the next step of this.
Yeah, yes.
How, I know this is just talk more or less about someday having a complex up there in that one field area.
Yeah, we looked into that about 15 years ago. I even have, I mean, we had a survey done and, you know, we hired a consultant and I still have pictures from it and it's just, I mean, you're just gonna be cramming fields into that space. And if you're gonna do something, you wanna do it right.
Right.
Not just set up or something, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, but.
I was just making sure we were gonna make this decision, and 2 years from now, and be like, okay, we should start planning that, you know?
I mean, I do think something needs to be done up there, but what that is, I don't know.
Right. Okay.
I've got some ideas there. I won't share it here.
Yeah.
So what, how much are we, can you say here at the bottom, if you go maybe look into more, or what if we just doing 10 right now, or?
Do we just need to pledge 10?
I would pledge 10, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the
John,
plan,
anything?
yeah, I just think that, you know, the plan was to pledge 10 and, you know, Ron and I have talked about this and normally, you know, I wouldn't be a big proponent to, you know, do a lot of these projects out of budget, but with the effort that he went through and you see that list of donors, it's a pretty impressive list. It just seemed like a opportunity to partner with a lot of other people and, you know, us being probably 15% of the project donation is really a pretty good deal for the city. So I think Ronnie deserves a lot of credit for, you know, beating on the doors and getting some money for the project.
You definitely done a great job.
And I might add too, Ryan Member helped me as well, so.
Until maybe. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve allocating 10,000 of city funds to baseball, softball, infield renovation project contingent upon receiving the private donation pledges as.
Counselor Bernard has made a motion to approve the baseball, softball, infield renovations with the private funds pledge. Mr. Scritchfield has seconded that motion to the amount for the city of $10,000. Any discussion? Any concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. The city has pledged $10,000 for the baseball, softball infield renovations for the Red Shell play. Pending, of course, the private donations. We wish you well. I think we can knock this thing out.
All right.
Good, thank you. Appreciate it. Great job. All right, on to item C, which is the 2022 STO and UPOC ordinances and agenda item report 22-096. It's a change to the standard traffic ordinance uniform public offense code.
So Chief isn't here, so I guess I can kind of explain. Each year they do updates to the code. Our police officers do carry these two books with them, year round to look at the code. And so in the ordinances, it states the changes that are in the codes for this year. So pending approval, then we will get their new books out to them and they can update their codes.
It didn't appear that there was anything real significant in the changes.
Change the pronouns. Yeah. This is good. It's cool.
We do this every year.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We do both at the same time. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt the 2022 standard traffic ordinances and which is 3126 and 3127, the uniform and the public offenses.
I'll second.
Mr. Scritchfield has made a motion, and Jessica seconded that motion to adopt the 2022, what is it, the STO stands for the standard traffic ordinance. Any discussion or any concerns with it? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed?
It's very delayed.
All right. Motion carries. We're going to adopt the STO and UPOC ordinance for the police department. So next item on the agenda will be our department heads recreation. Do you have anything more?
Yeah, I got a couple things.
Sure.
I was contacted by the county clerk's office. They're looking at options, new polling places. And they were wanting to know about the rec center, if it'd be available and, I said I would talk to you guys about it. I know the Legion charges for them for the polling place, but I won't go into all that.
Okay.
I just know that they're looking for a place. I told them, the one negative in the preliminary, stuff is, there's no AC out there, so, that's something they're gonna have to take in mind, but consideration. And then, of course, we have heat, so, November, that wouldn't be an issue at all, so. I just told them I would bring it up to you guys and
What about parking? Do we have they've got quite a parking lot over there.
They're all traveling there, I'm worried about,
yeah.
I'm worried about handicap access, but look at the same situation they do out there, I mean.
So just wanted to honest report back to them that, I brought it up to you.
Okay,
And so I don't know what other meetings they're looking at.
right.
I just said I would bring it up. So,
Is it only every November or is it
well, I'm
she
sure.
either primaries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Special elections ever happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking it's
Scheduling, might
in
be-
August.
yeah, all of a sudden,
I mean, I think that as far as no AC, it's probably gonna be worse on the workers than, the actual voters, because they're just in and out, so.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
anyway, so. Soccer field out there, I'm meeting with Patrick and Delvin and Jeff tomorrow. We're basically gonna come up with a plan. That dirt out there is just be hauling in a lot of debris and it would take forever to get all that stuff out of there, so. We're gonna haul in some of that better dirt we got from the retention basin up there. And just repack it, and Patrick's gonna plant some rye, this fall, just to get some
Yeah.
grass on it, and then, next year, we'll plant a Bermuda in there, so.
Probably needs to settle for a while too, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's all I got.
All right, okay, Ron, appreciate it. Golf course, street, water, sewer, fire, police, city attorney.
I don't have any major updates. I've still been I touched base with Kevin Cowan on the resolution for the addition to the TIF. We ran into a couple of questions and things we had to work through. We're working on that, and he's been out of office, so I haven't been able to get a hold of him last week. I mean, I keep thinking we're almost there, and things keep popping up, so hopefully we'll get that before you soon. Working on work easements for the sidewalk project. That's the main things I think right now, so unless you have questions.
So there are developers that are interested in looking at the hospital, correct?
I think, yeah, and I only heard briefly about that. Maybe John might know a little bit more about that. But I did give them the contact information for the attorney for 1883 Investments. I have never had,
Right.
nor can I know, he has never me communicate with the actual owner of
Right.
1883 Investments, but
He would give them permission to go inside or whatever.
whatever that looks like. I mean, hopefully they would let us know if they should die because they have agreed not to allow access.
Right.
But. I mean, on my end, I was just moving forward business as usual.
Right.
Unless we hear otherwise. I mean, I guess it's up to you guys if you want to put on hold the resolution. So what the resolution would be setting a hearing for the possible decision of just adding that hospital property to the TIF district. So we have to publish it, and then you'll have a public hearing, and then you can make your decision as to whether you add that property or not. So.
We're to decide on that later, wherever you
Well, I think if we had, I mean, I still have. Well, I think we could get a developer if we take the building down. And then we
Right.
definitely want it in the TIF district.
Right.
We got that, so, yeah, we continue forward.
Okay. That's.
I just wanted to bring that up, so I remember reading that, so.
Yeah, I would just comment, I did actually get a call back. I got the information from Melissa and reached out to the landowner, the property owner's attorney, and put him in contact. This developer actually is out of Grand Island, Nebraska. And he called really about the hospital, and and I did a little research on them, and they've done a lot of housing projects in Nebraska. Smaller, they like the smaller cities. I think they've actually got one undergoing in Lyons right now. And he seemed to be all about market, rate housing, which I thought was a good thing. And also told him about the old jail. I think it's the old jail building is what you call it, as a possible building as well. So, you get some of these calls every now and then. You never know what happens, but he now has information of both owners. I talked to the owner of the old jail property, and he's got some plans, he said, but if this individual is willing to buy it, he might be willing to sell it. So try and just put those parties together and see what happens. So.
Okay. All right, well, that's, anything else, Melissa? City clerk?
Have a few things. The first one, the League of Municipality, the Kansas Municipalities Annual Conference is coming up August 8th through 10th. So if any of you are interested in attending. October 8th through 10th. If any of you are interested in going, just let me know and I will make sure it's in.
That's league, you said, okay.
Good. So anyone's interested, let me know, those if we're all signed up. Get all that done. We did have the Bearcat Youth Football Group come in and they're asking for sponsorships. So I said I would bring these to council if the city is interested in sponsoring the youth football team. I know they have normally about 3 games here at home. And then they go to Salina for a championship game. The last 2 years, I believe, gotten first in one of those, so it's pretty cool. But if you guys are interested in sponsoring, we do that, if not, it's okay. And then the third thing, we had talked to the office, so we get accounts payables quite often, and they're kind of random. Our utility postage needs signatures, so on the 22nd, we'll need to redo that with our new city administrator. And we are wondering if we could add another city council member that is here in the city limits most of the time, just in case we run into something where we need to push a check or something like that. So we're wondering, I did talk to Darcy and asked her if she would be willing to, and as far as I know, she's still willing to. But if you guys are okay with that, adding another city council member that does work here in Ellsworth so that we have that extra option if needed for some type of emergency check or something like that. If you're okay with that, we'll bring the resolution the next council meeting then. That's all I have.
Hmm.
All right, thank you. John's, any comments?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I just want to refer you back to the weekly report that I sent out. I wanted to see if the council would be interested or if you're willing to set up a time for a budget study session. I think we're at that point where I think it's really important to kind of get your input, kind of where we're at. I think our scheduled hearing is September the 12th, so we'll be having a public hearing and finalizing the budget then. But there's still a lot of things in the budget that need your touch. We start talking about wage increases and we start talking about some projects that we might have had to cut or equipment because of budget issues, and want an opportunity for the department heads to be at that meeting and visit with you as well. So anyway, I'd suggested August the 15th, which is a Monday, but just like to get your thoughts on that. See what you think. And then do you want to talk about that now, or do you just want to give that some thought? Get back to me, Mayor.
Yeah, we can, everybody think it over, like, we may have to do like we did with the job search too, just email everybody, see their availability is too.
Yeah, it could be Tuesday, Wednesday, doesn't have to be that Monday.
And we don't have to have every single person, we just have to have as much input as possible, right?
Yeah. Right, yeah, and
Okay.
it's just an overview.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take too long, but I think it'd be important instead of just presenting you the final proposed budget on September the 10th, so, or 12th.
Yeah, maybe throw around some different dates and times and.
I'll send out a poll here this week and see what everybody can do. So,
Yeah, that's good.
and then just, I don't know if, I know the chief's not there tonight, but the McKinney property has been demoed. I think final gradings was nearly done when I left, what was it, Friday, I guess. So it's probably done now. However, I didn't ever hear back from the chief on the schedule for the 8th and the houses on 8th and St. Louis and the East First and West Street. So apparently the equipment wasn't just moved over there. I figured they just moved from one house to the other. So, but they what?
They moved the equipment elsewhere and they're gonna come back.
I guess I figured they'd move it right over to one of these houses, but apparently that didn't happen. And I never did hear back from Chief on Friday, and I know he's out of town this week. So I'll try to get an update from the contractor for you here this week. So, and I think that's all I had, Mayor. Other than, Dustin, been talking with Dustin a little bit. He's still scheduled to start the 22nd. I think he secured a house. And I think he's also working to secure some temporary living. So we'll see where that's at, but he's been busy working on that. So, but other than that, I really didn't have any other questions. So, or any other thing to say, but if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I will be back in Ellsworth first thing in the morning. I apologize for not being there tonight. My trip, I thought I was going to be back in time to whiz up there, but I just didn't quite make it. So, so here I am.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
they have not finished part. I've checked on it twice today and they have not finished part. The street.
Yep, they're working on it still.
One of the demo houses.
Yes,
That's the thing.
they have not finished that.
That's one of them's demo, there are two left. Okay.
They're still working on it. All right.
Yeah, they
That's the
still-
one. Yeah, they can come back and finish that, right?
Yeah, they've got, you're talking about the one over on the McKinney house?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've just got some final grading to do, but they've come a long way.
Okay. All right, anything else, John?
No, I don't have anything, Mayor.
Okay, all right, so Darcy, do you have anything?
No, this is from a while ago. I was just gonna ask Brittany, where is, oh no, I gotta think of her name. Oh, the lady with the water bill, the huge water bill.
Oh,
Patricia Evans.
Patricia Evans, where are we at on that? As far as is she making regular payments or,
She is still making the payments that were the agreement that she set with the previous clerk.
okay, is she making any progress or not necessarily?
No.
Okay, thank you.
And yeah. And at that current rate, she'll never catch up.
Right, right. I was just curious, just making sure she was doing what she was supposed to. Yeah, that's all I have.
Tyler,
No, I'm agree.
all right, Wayne,
I don't think so.
Gary? No. Jessica?
Just more of a comment that, as an extension agent, not for the fair board or 4-H member, but we use the rec center again, and it's fantastic. It's so perfect, and the floor covering worked great, and let me tell you, I enjoy air conditioned bathrooms so much. Especially that particular week, if you like that. So thank you to the city for letting us use that. It was phenomenal, so.
Great, think that county clerk's office figured it out too, so. So it's good. Yeah, it's been a big success for sure. Any other comments, Jessica? Just from my standpoint, the big thing, of course, is Cowtown's coming up. Not this weekend, but the weekend after. A lot of events through the week, so it's a little bit different. There's gonna be something. Starting on the 14th, there's actually gonna be a talk at the high school Performing Arts Center all the way through the next Sunday. So it's about 8 days of activity. So stay, in tune to what's going on. I know Aaron's involved in that, and there's just a host of activities. So really proud of the organization. We're kind of pulling it together. John, if they reached out to you, they made contact regarding the celebration fund.
No, have not heard anything.
And I told them that we've never had a conversation. You came in after all this organization, so that's gonna happen. It's just a matter of, I asked them to talk to you first, just don't come in here cold and say, hey, I need my check. There's a whole history behind it, and so if you need any details, just give me a call.
Yeah.
But
Is that
we're gonna have a nice festival, so hopefully everybody can attend. So, with that said, any other comments from anybody?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Nice try.
All right, Counselor Coates has made a motion to adjourn the meeting, and Dart's gonna second that motion. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? All right, the meeting's adjourned.
Do we